Hey fam, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here. Back for I don't know what the hell I'm back for. Oh, excuse me. Getting over a sinus thing. I don't know what I'm back for. I do not know why I'm here. I'm going to tell y'all this. Don't waste your time. Don't watch the episode. Out of the entire episode, we probably got 5 minutes of new content. And I cannot believe that TLC wasted our time like this. But hit the like button because I'm going to give you just a little. If you want to remember what this whole situation was like, go back and watch my comments on the wedding special because they're there. Maybe I'll be, a little, smart and find it and link it in the description. But all this episode did was point out a couple of things that I noticed. Number one, Cody is a moron, but so is his bird. Because despite Cody dropping a tree on their home, causing roof damage, the bird is still allowing him to cut trees. Despite him dropping a tree on their home, causing roof damage, the bird decides that she's going to stand directly under said trees while he's cutting them as this massive tree, because they got some really, really tall trees, as this massive tree is being chopped, cut, sawed, hit, got hats flying at it, all these other things, when he himself has said he has no idea what direction the tree is going to fall in. She is a moron because despite all of this and him admitting that he's nervous and all these other things and him being a dodo that clearly doesn't know what he's doing, she's going to stand right beside him as he cuts down these trees. This was legit a repeat of stuff that we've already seen with a little additional footage here and there, along with some tree time. Things to note. Janelle's presence means a lot to Christine. Christine's presence means a lot to Janelle. Robin's eyes, I noticed, darted all over the place when she was asked the question of how they found out about Christine's wedding. And she said that, Cody saw an announcement somewhere. And as her eyes are darting while she's saying it, I'm sitting there and I'm experiencing a great deal of pleasure because that announcement, Cody seeing that announcement at his sister's house must have really gotten under his skin to the point where the bird doesn't even realize that she's having such a negative reaction to it and she can't even control her eyes. But that darting all over the place, Cody must have lost his sugar honey iced tea when he saw that thing at his sister's house. I would have loved to have witnessed that conversation. I would have loved if his sister would have came out and said what happened. I would love it even more if his sister went, but I don't know if she went. If she went and y'all know, put it down below. So, according to the bird, they are the outcast. It didn't surprise me that we weren't invited. We're the outcasts, We've been voted off the island. The family experience is not even close to the same. How does she know that? It's weird. It's awkward. It's not fun. It's not welcoming. It's not safe emotionally. Put all items on Do Not Disturb. Cody says he is sure that all of the children but Robin's children were invited. When he said that, my reaction to that is, are we surprised? If they aren't allowed to have conversations with Robin's kids, if they can't have a simple text thread without Robin inserting herself and causing all types of unnecessary confusion, if they cannot converse without the bird wanting to know what's being said and who's saying what and changing words and saying people don't want to be around you when that is not the case, why would they expect for those children to be invited to come to Christine's wedding? Because more than likely, let's say she did invite them, which, from, if I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, she did say that she tried to reach out to them, but she got no response. So if she were to have gotten through and invited them to the wedding, I would think that more than likely the bird would want to insert herself in that too. The bird did this. The bird caused this division, but he's not seeing it, and neither is she. And watching the episode and getting the various clips where she continues to act like this victim, we're just reminded of it. So Cody, something new that he admitted during this episode is that he is not used to not getting as much attention as he previously did, his words, that it's causing an adjustment for him. It's really messing up his ego that he doesn't have all these kids surrounding him with love, which makes me wonder how he's feeling when he watches episodes like the one that we watched tonight, where we see how those children that he wants all this adoration from are currently adoring someone else, not because they are trying to rub it in Cody's face, but because they are actually forming their own relationship with this man. According to Cody, the door will be open to his other kids, but they have to come through the door. He'll hold out a hand for them, but they have to understand that while he's holding out one hand, he'll be holding another. He is not willing to cut off Robin in order to have a relationship with his children. And the narrative that he and his bird continue to rewrite is crazy. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, none of them ever asked for that. What they wanted from him was for him to be a present father. They didn't necessarily want her to be excluded. Now, they may not have wanted to include her in on certain things, and that's their right. But they're not saying you can't be married to her. They're saying, let's make this about us and not her, because everything is always about her. So her talks with her sitting and talking about how it stung when she found out Christine was getting married and all those other things simply just don't matter. Her feeling being left out doesn't matter. What matters to me is in this episode seeing Maddie cry about how much she loves David and his family and how happy she is for Christine. How was this man able to have such an impact in such a short time? Madison has spoken on several occasions about David, often highlighting their connection and their shared values and how much she admires how much he shows up for his kids and things of that nature. She's described him as supportive and encouraging, and she appreciates the way that he respects Christine, and she appreciates the way that he shows up not just for Christine but her kids. The interactions that she speaks of, the way she got emotional in this episode, just suggests to me that they took the time to get to know one another, as well as David took the time to form his own dynamic with not just her biological kids, but the kids that she's had through her sister wives as well, which is what matters. David has done what Cody tried to tell us the bird has done. Except David, I believe, has done it, at least what it appears to be so far, because he legitimately cares about this woman and her children, not because he's trying to get any advancement, not because he's trying to get any favor. It's because it's something that he wanted to do. And as I'm seeing this, I'm thinking of all the things that matter. Like, what matters is Isabel saying that this is the most that she's ever heard a man say that I love you to her mother. Isabel was at least, what, 18 years old by the time her parents parted ways. And in a year's time, this is the most that you've heard a man say, I love you to your mom. And what matters is David showing up for Truly. And Truly, who normally, according to Christine, isn't affectionate, being affectionate in a beautiful moment where, she was telling her mom that she's happy for her at their wedding, and embracing her mother and David in a way that she normally doesn't do. We've seen Truly over the years when Cody went to go hug her and others, and she said no. It at various points it wasn't her thing. So it shows that effort has been put there. What matters is Peyton, as he's walking his mother down the aisle, looking over to her and saying, Mom, he's really a good man. And Isabel saying that at first it was rough for her, but now she can't imagine life without David. What matters is these adult children, all of whom showed up, with the exception, I believe, of Gwen, because we saw Garrison and Gabe and Hunter. We saw all of them there. And her being thankful for the new family that she's gained with David, and them being thankful for it, while still expressing missing other aspects of their family. It's not fair for these kids to have missed out on so much. Cody claims that he's happy for her, despite, Cody only meeting David one time. Robin says she's happy too. If that's what happy is, I don't want it. The bald eagle still likes to present himself like he's this great stand-up father, but in my opinion, a present father would have made sure that they had more than one interaction with David, especially if their child was going to be living with him. Things we didn't know, or that I didn't remember, that David had messed up his back going down the slide earlier that morning with his grandkids, but he still made sure that he completed the dance that he practiced with Christine and that he showed up for his wife. We learned that unlike the bald eagle, David does not like being the center of attention, whereas we know that the bald eagle thrives on it. Gabe saying for the first time in a long time, it felt like the Brown family was back. And it kind of did when we saw them dance. Now, I know Cody likes to think that he came up with the whole mosh pit idea, but I think that people just like to dance. And we saw a lot of that there because they had a mosh pit, or what he's calling a mosh pit. I don't really know what a mosh pit is. I thought it was people like jumping into each other in a circle, but tell me what it is. Anyways, so we got that whole dancing situation happening. And then we get the whole lap dance where Christine forgot where she was. And the first time I watched it, I was like, girl, you doing too much. Da, da, da. But watching this the second time, I found myself laughing because I remembered a time when I was at a wedding. And my family, of course, was there because my cousin was getting married. And I lost myself and I forgot where I was. And, the music was playing and I had my flag and I was waving my flag and I was whining on this one and whining on that one. And then I quickly got a tap on my shoulder from my father, reminding me that he is there. In other words, you need to stop. So I get Christine losing herself in that moment and shocking everybody with her blatant, lust for her man. Great to see. And a wedding. On to Meri. Meri is happy to be feeling like herself again. She's feeling liberated. Halloween is her grandmother's birthday. So despite not celebrating it when they were younger, when they got older, one of the things that Meri and Bonnie decide was that they must celebrate it. So she's decorating now. She still has flowers from their commitment celebration. And I love that her friend Blair, the man, suggested that they put those flowers in the fake cemetery that they're going to be doing in the yard. As I saw those flowers, I was like, Meri, you're a hoarder. But it's not that Meri's a hoarder. Meri is very connected to things, which further reminds me of just how cruel it was for the bald eagle to decide to ask Meri to cut up that quilt in order to give him squares. because that's what they were. They weren't actual shirts, squares of his memories. He clearly wanted to hurt that lady. But I do like that she said there's no purpose at this point in keeping the flowers, and hopefully she'll get rid of them once the whole situation is done. Meri said that she used to love to decorate. She would celebrate all the different holidays, and Janelle and Christine said yes, she was really, really into it, and she did a really good job. And she said that, after the move to Flagstaff, she stopped because nobody was coming around. And the bird uses this time once again to talk about the pandemic and to blame it on the situation with the pandemic, and then say that the older kids and the moms weren't interested in the traditions anymore. But I'd have to say that I disagree, because if they weren't interested in the traditions, then they wouldn't still be doing some of these traditions with their families, as well as creating their own. The Burgess will continue to rewrite history as long as she can. I'll end with this. Janelle said, "This is a do-over in the biggest way for Christine, and I hope that Christine and David have the relationship that they've longed for." And that's it. Y'all, if you want to talk about anything, but you're probably not even going to watch this since it wasn't too much to it, feel free to put it down below. I don't know what was up with this. Also, do me a favor, go check out A Dose of Me. It's a new section that I'm probably going to be doing where I tell a little bit more about myself, may have a little bit of story times here and there. I'm trying to work out a video with one of my best friends. She's agreed to do it. It's just to figure out what we're going to do, what questions we're going to answer, and things of that nature. Because I don't want it to be cheesy, and I want it to be realistic, because when we're around each other, I'm a big goofball. I know y'all have seen, some sides of that. But I just want to, this year show a little bit more of me along with the other content that I have. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great Sunday evening and a productive Monday. Until next time.